Oh, hello. I didn't see you there. Just a little caught up in my book. You know, I love all kinds of media. Reading, watching YouTube videos. Which was kind of weird that I'm not more good at making them, but that's what happens. But anyway, reading this book got me thinking. How do artists make money? How does anyone with a creative career make money? Are there laws and systems in place to help them out, or are they simply stuck out in the wind? And that got me thinking even more. Am I the only one wondering this? What do other people think about this? So, I decided to do my English project about it. And you are about to see the fine fruits of my labor. I hope you enjoy. And welcome to Creators' Rights vs. Piracy, a Matthew Marshall production. Please don't steal. So just what are creators' rights? Well, depending on who you ask, you're probably going to get a multitude of answers.
What is the first thing that comes to mind when you hear the phrase artist rights?
The right of the artist to be able to express themselves in any form or fashion that they want.
What comes to mind when you hear the phrase creators' rights?
Creators' rights, to me, indicate that somebody has created a work of writing, film, some sort of media, basically.
Okay.
Or art.
What comes to mind when you hear the phrase creators' rights?
For me, when I hear creators' rights, it's the certain rights that a creator is allowed for when they have created a piece of art or media.
What comes to mind when you hear the phrase creators' rights?
Creators' rights to me would mean like what type of rights the actual writer or the person who is doing photography has.
4 different people, 4 different answers. And the thing is, none of them is really wrong. Artists, and by extension creators' rights, have been in contention for quite a while. Just look at this data. According to my survey data, 53% of responders had knowledge of piracy, either through themselves or through a friend, 8% had no answer to give, and 39% said they had never pirated anything. To a degree, this is accurate. Why only to a degree? Well, given that this is only a class project, my resources are slightly limited. I can only reach a certain amount of people with my surveys. I could have just so happened to get a large amount of people who knew about piracy. Perhaps my numbers are inflated, or hopefully not, underinflated. Perhaps we should take a look at the interviews I conducted earlier. Maybe they'll provide an answer.
Can you think of an instance where you might pirate something, or at least be tempted to?
There might be an instance where maybe it's maybe a film or that didn't get released widely enough that you might want to, you really liked it and you wanted to see it, and the only way to do it would be to do it that way if you couldn't get a released copy.
Gotcha.
How do you feel about creators' rights?
Well, I mean, other than the FBI warning that pops up on everything I watch, do they really have many?
What makes you say that?
Because anybody can download anything without getting in trouble. They are mainly looking out for mass productions versus individual people.
Well, that didn't help much, did it? On one hand, we've got the idea that piracy has gone down thanks to things like Netflix and other digital distribution sources. On the other, we've got the idea that because they're so readily available, it's almost indistinguishable from piracy to some people. How does this get back to creators' rights? Well, through the course of my research, I found that this clearly isn't a cut and dry issue. Whether you're an artist who creates something or a corporation who wants to profit off of that work, there's really only one thing I can say about it. And that is that more research must be done. If you're an artist, you want to make sure that you're profiting from your hard labor. If you're a corporation looking to get into the business, you want to make sure that you're not losing all your money. And if you're trying to get into a digital distribution service of any kind, whether if you're a creator or a company, you want to know that you are doing it right. I hope you've learned a little something today. Either about piracy or about people's response to digital media, or even about yourselves if something I've said has caught your attention. I guess it all depends on how observant you've all been. I'm Matthew Marshall, and this has been my report. I'm going to get back to my book.
This is what I got to work with. Come here. That's why you were inside.
Closing time.